Chris C74.
Hello YouTubers, this is my 50th video. Thank you very much, thank you, thank you, yes, thank you. No, yes, thank you. What I'm going to do for my 50th video is I'm going to compare 3 mobile phones and do video clips of how they take video, normal light and in low light. The reason for doing this is on forums I have read and noticed that there isn't really a lot of attention on this sort of subject, because most people just get it for the camera, they don't really get it for the video, and normal people will just get a camcorder. But I find it a lot easier to have a good video capture capability in the phone, so that if I'm in any sort of situation I can just whip out my phone, take some video. It's easy, it's convenient, I don't have to lug around any bags or any camcorders or worry about them getting nicked. So what I'm going to do, there are 3 phones that I've used which I would say are the best 3 phones that do video capture. Then at the end I'm going to list some more video phones which I think are probably just as good to take video capture. So let's get started. First one is the U600. This is the most recent phone that I've got. It's got a 3.2 megapixel camera on it, various other different things on it. I do like the video capture on it because I think that it's quite good in comparison to other phones that I've had. And here's the first clip. Now this is of me walking in a local park. It's not too dark. It was quite dark that day anyway, and I have done better shots than that. It is a little bit pixelated, but then it's going to be worse because of the video converter I've got anyway. As far as video phones are concerned, it is quite a good capture. My next clip is of driving down a local road. We're doing about 30 miles an hour, and as you can see it is quite good. There is a little bit of pixelation there. As far as the driving is concerned, it is still pretty good. It's pretty clear and nice. That is cool. Now the low light one is, this is the low light. It's in my bedroom, it's during the day. I'd shut the curtains to see what it's like. There is some ghosting going on, and there's my little face. On some phones, because of a lag, the voice doesn't fit the lips, the lip sync is wrong. But on this phone, that isn't a problem. Even though it does seem a bit misty when you're moving it around, you still get the clarity of voice and the matched things, which I think is quite good. And that is the U600. Now for the E720. 1.3 megapixel camera, pretty good camera phone on it. To be honest, every single camera phone I've had since the E720 has been in comparison to it. When I had it about 3 or 4 years ago, I took it on holiday and it was quite good. It's a bit bassy when you record the sound, the low light, well you'll see. The only bummer thing about this phone is that, one, they don't do it anymore, and also it hasn't got any room for a SD card. Here is the first clip. It's of a walk. It's pretty clear. Again, it's probably not as good as the original clip because I've had to put it through a converter, and once you put it through a converter it sort of naffs it up a bit. But there is a sort of dark ring around the edges, but other than that it is quite bright and quite good. Now the next one is in my house, normal daylight. Still looks quite good, quite nice and bright, no lagging, really clear, great video. Now for the low light. Now, like I said before, the low light that I did with the curtains closed, you couldn't even see anything. The best low light thing that I could do was at night with my light on, and the light in this room, as you can tell, is quite dark anyway, but it is quite dark, but there is no lagging. At night, if you had the right lights, it would be quite good, but like there, it looks quite good there. Video capture is probably the best of that time, and like I say, a lot of people that I've talked to on forums compare other phones to that phone, because I don't think there's been a phone since then which has been as good, and that is the E720. Now for the Samsung E900. This was quite a good phone, 2 megapixel, touch sensitive keys though, which I found was a bit annoying because I kept phoning up people at like 11 o'clock when I went to turn my phone off. Other than that, it was quite a good phone for what it was. Picture quality was quite good. First clip here is of a walk that I did, quite clear, similar to the E720. There's a lot of sort of juddering about because I'm walking with it, but it seems to react to the light quite well. And the next clip was of me standing in the garden, quite clear, quite nice, no lagging or anything, which I thought was quite good. And I don't think there was any lip syncing problem either. Now the low light, I found with some of the low light pictures that I took, it was all fuzzy and blurred, even in good lighting for night time sort of thing. But this is the next low light clip in here in my bedroom. There is a little bit of a lag, but it is quite dark. It was quite clear like there with the words and stuff. I think for a modern phone it was quite close to how the E720 was, and that is the Samsung E900. With all of those three comparisons, I would say that, from my opinion, the U600 is probably the best all-round phone out of the three of them, because you've got the expansion card that you can put in there, you've got the 3.2 megapixel camera, and the video camera for daytime shooting and nighttime shooting is quite good. So I would say that out of those three phones, the U600 as a modern phone is the best out of the three. Other phones which I've tried is the Nokia 6233, 6234. The 6288, I read that it was the same sort of innards as the 6233 and 34, but they put it into a slider type phone. Now I'm not sure whether there is a modern day equivalent. Those phones I think were out about a year, maybe 2 years ago. I found that the 6233 and 34 was quite a good phone, especially for night shots. It was really clear. There wasn't any flash though, and it was a 2 megapixel camera. There was a little bit of lagging, which was a bit annoying, and the top setting was huge, so when it came to converting it or like sticking it on YouTube, you had to convert it down because it was just, the file size was just massive. Plus it would mean that you would need a huge card to stick in it just to be able to record the equivalent of the other phones. There are other phones, recent phones, the Nokia N95, N93 and N93i, which are meant to be quite good video capture phones. The N93 and 93i is meant to be the best camcorder video phone that is out. To be honest with you, I've looked at them and there's probably been I've probably put a picture up. I don't like them because they're massive. For a flip phone it's just too big. I mean, the good thing about the U600 is that it's small. So you look here, it's nice, you know, it fits in your hand, you can stick it in your pocket, and you still get quite a good video capture on it. Now Samsung have brought out a G600, which is a 5 megapixel camera, the same as the N95, but I'm not really sure what the video capture is like. All of the stuff that I've read about these last phones, and also stuff that I've seen on YouTube, I'm still quite happy with the U600, because for me it fits all of the criteria that I like. There are two websites which I constantly use to check up on new phones, and I will put them up on the end of this video. I'm hoping that after editing it isn't going to be a long video, and I apologise if it is a long video. That's pretty much my review on video capture, and like I say, if you want a simple nice phone, they're quite cheap now, then I would suggest the U600. The touch sensitive keys on it aren't as bad as the E900, and I'm getting along with them quite well, so I think that it's quite good. If you don't like the touch sensitive keys, then I would probably suggest one of the Nokia phones, because they're just as good. I've found that the flashes don't seem to make that much difference. Only in sort of like pitch blackness does it make a lot of difference if you've got your hand nearly in front of your face, but other than that I haven't found that they've made a lot of difference. So whether or not you've got a flash or not, to me it doesn't really matter. But anyway, that is my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good rest of the weekend. Bye bye.
If you watch, you will learn.